for over 10 years since Sir Alex Ferguson, whose win percentage was at 65%. Who could replace him at the moment? Really, if you look down that list, nobody has done a good enough job, you have to say, with Erik ten Hag losing his job on Monday of this week. Let's get more, shall we? As we take you live to Old Trafford, Gary Neville, our special contributor, joins us. We know, Gary, that Ruben Amirom is coming in a week tomorrow. Ruud van Nistelrooy had the game in midweek and has the game today. Is the atmosphere, is it a bit different at Old Trafford?
I mean, look, I think when a manager leaves, they always get supported here by the fans. There's a tinge of sadness, but I think then there's a level of optimism moving forward that obviously a new manager is coming in, and hopefully you see those win percentages of those managers under Sir Alex Ferguson, apart from Ralph Rangnick, who was obviously a temporary manager. They're all pretty much of a muchness. They've all fallen foul of the same type of results, the same type of symptoms that have cost them their jobs in the end, and Erik ten Hag no different. But I think Amirom, there's a freshness to it. There's an element of the unknown, a little bit like Erik ten Hag, but I think there's an idea there that this guy could be something different. And because the new structure that's been put in, it's their first appointment from Ineos, who obviously have come into the club in the summer. There's a little bit of optimism around the place. And
Gary, how impressed were you by that new structure, with how quickly they went over to Portugal? They said to him, it's now or it's never, Ruben. He chose now. How impressed with the way they did that?
I think that the game that was covered a few weeks ago, the game against Tottenham here, was the end of Erik ten Hag. It felt in the stadium on that day that, like, you know, something was happening, and it's as if the club, and I think obviously the sporting director and CEO, have planned from that moment for the new manager, because it's like you say, he's been very smooth. Erik ten Hag goes on the Monday, Amirom's almost in straight away, so they've done a lot of groundwork, it looks like, in the meantime. They've made their decision a few weeks ago, and I think it's something that the club seem to be acting in the transfer window and in the managerial sort of replacement. They do seem to be acting differently, but what they have to do now is make sure it's a success.
Gary, we're told that Ruben Amirom's personality is big. We've seen that he's a really good communicator. Why is that so important when you're the head coach of Manchester United?
It's absolutely critical. I think actually listening to Ruud van Nistelrooy's press conference before the games this week, it's been a breath of fresh air. You know, you're in a statesman-like position if you're the manager of Manchester United. It's everybody's there to listen to you, to watch you. You're communicating to the world. And Erik ten Hag did struggle with that on occasion. In fact, more than one occasion. He continually struggled with it. Mourinho had his own way. Louis van Gaal was a little bit eccentric. David Moyes a little bit dour in his approach. So you've got this guy now, hopefully, who can come in and bring a real energy. It's so important, though, for the players, actually. I think that it was Arsene Wenger who once said that when you actually are doing a press conference, you're communicating not only to the fans and to the world, you're communicating to your own players about what you think about the performance. And there's no doubt that the players here over 10 years have underperformed. They've all really struggled, and I think that's a big problem. He has to get the best out of the players and communicate well, and obviously that's just vital in any job.
And just quickly, Gary, to end with, is this one going to work?
Look, I'm not going to say it's going to work. I think that would be naive of me to do that. But he has to get 2 or 3 things right. He has to get the very best out of the squad that he's inherited and the players that he signed. No manager has done that. He has to get Manchester United pushing up the pitch higher. They're constantly playing like the underdog in big games, camped at the edge of their own box, having to counter-attack 70, 80 metres to score. And they have to dominate and control games in the attacking third. Like you say, they've been playing on the counter-attack for the last 6, 7 years, Manchester United. It's a tactic that can work in part of games. It cannot work continuously. You have to dominate football matches and hope that Ruben Amorim can do that. If he doesn't do that, the wins won't come and he'll fail. He has to get those 2 or 3 things right.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.